Good evening, viewers. This is the Qtv Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM. And I am Amna Bukar. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. Amid much fanfare on Saturday, President Barrow cut the ribbon to inaugurate the first phase of the National Emergency Treatment Center in Farato in the West Coast region. The Rwandan community in the Gambia on Saturday commemorated Kwibuka 32, marking the 32nd annual day of the reflection of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. The Medical and Dental Council of the Gambia is raising concerns over the growing number of unlicensed individuals providing dental services, warning that the practice poses serious risks to public health. The Ministry of Justice and partners today commenced a two-day capacity building and awareness program on occupational health and safety. In international news, today, the 29th of June, is the International Day of the Tropics, a day set aside to recognize the world's tropical regions and their vital role in sustaining life on Earth. There isn't more coming ahead. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Now, amid much fanfare on Saturday, President Barrow cut the ribbon to inaugurate the first phase of the National Emergency Treatment Center in Farato, in the West Coast region. The facility is described as one of the most significant investments in the Gambia's healthcare system since independence. Ali Sise witnessed the historic event, and here now reports.
President Barrow commissioned the National Emergency Treatment and Diagnosis Center, joined by Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow, First Lady Fatoumata Bah Barrow, Deputy Speaker C.D. S.K. Njai, Cabinet Ministers, representatives of the World Bank Group and development partners, healthcare professionals and community leaders. Jointly funded by the World Bank Group and the Government of the Gambia, the state-of-the-art center is designed to strengthen the country's preparedness for disease outbreaks while improving access to specialized medical services that were previously unavailable or limited. President Barrow says the project represents another transformative milestone in the country's health sector.
Future generations of Gambian healthcare personnel will train and practice in world-class facilities right here at home. Happily also, Gambian families will feel confidently a sort of accessible, specialized in-country medical treatment. Ladies and gentlemen, institutions and infrastructure are foundations of dignity. Through our expanded infrastructure development program, we have demonstrated the essence of focused leadership, especially in transforming dreams and promises into reality and outcomes.
The complex includes advanced labs for immunology, bacteriology, hematology, and genomic sequencing to improve disease detection and surveillance. It also features MRI, CT scan, and modern X-ray services, reducing the need for patients to travel abroad for diagnostic tests. The facility further includes a fully equipped 20-bed intensive care unit, 84 standard admission beds, and a national blood service that will collect, screen, store, and distribute blood to hospitals.
So to successfully finish of the work we have started together, we need your trust and support. My government remains devoted to further strengthening our healthcare infrastructure nationwide, expanding specialized healthcare services, improving access to medicine, investing in digital health systems, reinforcing the health workforce, and reducing the need for overseas medical referrals.
Behind the scenes, a biomedical engineering department will maintain sophisticated medical equipment locally, while modern safety systems, biometric access controls, CCTV cameras, solar power, and a medical waste treatment facility support the center's operations. President Barrow appealed for the facility to be used responsibly.
I urge the healthcare professionals who will run these facilities to uphold the highest standards of professionalism, compassion, integrity, and patient-centered care.
Farato Alcalo Fatuso, Combo South Chief Falalo Toure, and West Coast Region Governor Usman Bojang said the completion of the facility demonstrates the government's commitment to delivering on its promises.
This massive structure being inaugurated today was being called a white elephant project by some of the supposedly known better than all politicians when the foundation stone was being laid.
Representing the World Bank Group, Country Representative Franklin Mutahakana described the facility as a major milestone in the country's efforts to build a stronger, more resilient and equitable healthcare system.
We commend the government of the Gambia, under the leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, and the Ministry of Health, for placing health at the center of the country's development agenda.
President Barrow also announced that he will soon inaugurate the complete Same, Garawal and Faratu Lamen routes, commission the renovated Buyam Hospital and newly built health facilities, including Yao Major Health Center. He disclosed further plans to significantly reduce fuel prices from July 1st, 2026. Reporting for Qtv News, I am Aliou Sise.
The Rwandan community in the Gambia on Saturday commemorated Kwibuka 32, marking the 32nd annual day of reflection of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, during which more than 800,000 people were killed over a period of 100 days. Here is Paka Basuso.
Kwibuka, which means to remember in Kinyarwanda, is observed annually by Rwandans around the world as a solemn period of collective remembrance. This solemn ceremony begins with the lighting of the sacred flames of remembrance and hope, symbolizing the enduring memory of the victims and a collective commitment to preventing future atrocities. The event was attended by members of the National Assembly, representatives of the Diplomatic Corps, officials from the Ministry of Justice and Foreign Affairs, civil society organizations, and other dignitaries.
Remembering is not about reopening old wounds. Remembering is about preserving truth, honoring victims, comforting survivors, educating future generations, and ensuring that such a tragedy never happens again.
That was Dr. Adelad Ngambonziza, the representative of the Rwandan community in the Gambia. Aida Persin, the head of the post-TRRC unit, and Mariam Kanjalo, Director of European Affairs, represented the Ministry of Justice and Foreign Affairs, respectively.
The government of the Gambia strongly believes in the spirit of Kwibuka and the responsibility it attributes. This is why we seek justice for people experiencing genocide and gross human rights violations and crimes everywhere.
On behalf of the Honorable Minister and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I extend our deepest sympathy and unwavering solidarity to the government of the Republic of Rwanda, particularly the survivors and families.
Procession messages such as resilience is Rwanda's legacy, honor the victims, stand with survivors, denying genocide is an injustice. Their sacrifice gave Rwanda a future. Together in remembrance, and from the ashes, Rwanda rose. Carried by children highlighted the importance of remembering the lessons of the past and ensuring that such atrocities never happen again. The testimony of genocide survivor Kanimba Jame captured the trauma, fear, and resilience of those who lived through the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Just 14 years old at the time, Kanimba recalled how her family endured growing persecution even before the genocide began, with the violence escalating in 1994 and bringing unimaginable loss and uncertainty. She lost her parents while countless families were forced to flee their homes in search of safety. Kanimba said this support extended to survivors in the aftermath of the genocide helped many rebuild their lives and restore hope. She urged parents to instill in their children the values of peace, tolerance, humanity, and love, stressing that these principles must always prevail over hatred, division, and violence. Here is Aida Persin.
In both Rwanda and the Gambia, events that occurred over 30 years ago have left behind calamitous legacies that are still shaping our societies today. While the circumstances of our countries could not differ more drastically, the underlying principles that guide our respective journeys towards reconciliation are remarkably similar.
the commemoration of the 32nd anniversary of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsis underscores Rwanda's remarkable journey of justice, healing and reconciliation. 32 years later, the country has emerged as one of Africa's most developed and progressive nations, reflecting its commitment to unity, resilience and national renewal. For QTV News, Pakaba Suso.
The Medical and Dental Council of the Gambia is raising concerns over the growing number of unlicensed individuals providing dental services, warning that the practice poses serious risks to public health. The council has reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that only qualified and licensed doctors and dentists are allowed to practice in the country. More in this report by Yafatuge.
Responding to concerns over the increasing number of allegedly unlicensed and unregistered people offering dental services such as fitting braces, tooth extractions, teeth whitening and other procedures, Deputy Registrar of the Council, Dr. Babanding Dafe, explained the Council's position.
Some of these services are regulated by the Allied Health Science. Unfortunately, we have a gap in our law. We does not specifically talk about them. But as far as we're concerned, if you are giving any service that can affect human life and you use substance, whatever, then it means you must undergo training.
He also reveals that the Ministry of Health has reviewed the country's regulatory laws to strengthen oversight of medicine vendors and individuals without the required license offering dental or medical services.
The Ministry of Health recently, not long ago, looked into all the regulatory act in this country, and there is a need for adjustment or the amendment in some of those regulatory acts. Of course, this Allied Health Science also issue came, and then there will be a regulatory body that will look into some of these issues.
Ibrahima K. Yabo, Senior Administrative Officer at the Council, explained that the Council follows a rigorous assessment process before issuing licenses to newly graduated doctors and dentists, ensuring that only qualified and competent professionals are allowed to practice.
For a council to be able to issue a license to a practitioner, he or she must have been vetted, complete vetting, so that this person is safe. During his or her clinical practice, if an issue arises, an issue of medical negligence, an issue of misconduct or whatever, the public has the right to lodge a complaint against that practitioner for review by the council.
Mr. Yabo gave an assurance to Gambians that the council remains committed to safeguarding lives by enforcing professional standards and promoting quality healthcare services. Since its establishment in 1988, the Council has registered more than 1,000 medical practitioners and 50 dental practitioners, with approximately 850 current practicing in the Gambia. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatuge.
That report by Yafatuge will take us on a commercial break. When we return, we have more national and international news stories. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News and I am Mamna Buka. Now on to the rest of our stories. The Ministry of Justice, in collaboration with the World Intellectual Property Organization and the Gambia Intellectual Property Office, today commenced a two-day capacity building and awareness program on occupational health and safety. Mamudu Gajaga attended and he now reports.
To strengthen capacity and promote awareness of occupational health and safety, the Government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Justice, in partnership with the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, organized a two-day training program on intellectual property with a particular focus on workplace safety. One of the key sessions explored how innovation and intellectual property can help reduce work-related accidents and occupational diseases. Hussein Tomasi, the Solicitor General and Legal Secretary, and Abdullah Koli, Registrar General at the Ministry of Justice, spoke about the event.
This workshop, ladies and gentlemen, reinforces our commitment to adopting modern safety technologies across agriculture, construction, manufacturing, and transport industries, supporting Gambian innovators who are designing local solutions to local challenges, strengthening our IP ecosystem so that inventions created by Gambians are protected, commercialized, and scaled.
As we strive to build a modern, resilient economy, we must embrace innovation as a central pillar of workplace safety. IP systems encourage the creation, protection, and commercialization of technologies that make workplaces safer, whether through improved machinery, protective equipment, digital monitoring tools, or new processes that reduce exposure to hazard.
Millions of people around the world suffer work-related injuries, illnesses, or fatalities each year due to inadequate workplace safety measures that expose them to preventable risk. According to Marina Nicolacopoulou, project coordinator at the World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, strengthening innovation, developing effective policy framework, and implementing robust occupational health and safety measures are essential to create safer work environments.
The objective of the project is to identify the needs in each beneficiary country. Gambia is one of the beneficiary countries. It's a member state of the World Intellectual Property Organization that they decided to be part of the project. And we identified the risk sectors of occupational health and safety and injuries that occur in these sectors. So the first part is done, and now is the most important part, the workshop, the training of trainers and the awareness raising activity on this topic.
Another key area of discussion during the training will be occupational health and safety challenges, including workplace accidents, occupational diseases, high-risk sectors, and the protection of vulnerable workers. The session is expected to underscore the importance of prevention and fostering a strong workplace safety culture. Habibu Ibi Mbai, Senior Health and Safety Environment Manager at NAWEC and a participant in the training, shared his perspectives of the program.
IP coming on board, bringing in new concepts, on how our work can be protected and how it can be improved in terms of worker protection, in terms of going into some virgin areas that we've not been looking at is very important for us. So we have come here to learn to improve.
The training is expected to reinforce the importance of prioritizing safe working conditions to reduce workplace accidents, protect employees from occupational hazards, and foster a strong culture of safety that enhances productivity and overall organizational performance. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
The expanded program on immunization supported by the World Health Organization has validated the findings of the Gambia's maternal and neonatal tetanus elimination post-validation assessment. Health officials state that while the country has maintained its elimination status, continued efforts are necessary to protect the gains. Lole M. Kamara tells us more.
The validation of the maternal and neonatal tetanus elimination post-assessment represents a significant milestone in the Gambia's public health journey. The assessment aimed to determine whether the country continues to meet the World Health Organization's standard of fewer than one neonatal tetanus case per 1,000 live births in each district. Officials revealed that this assessment is not merely a routine check, but a crucial measure to ensure the continued elimination of the disease while identifying areas that require further improvement. Dr. Nathan Baichiaita, the WHO representative in the Gambia, emphasized the importance of sustaining the successes achieved since the country was validated for eliminating maternal and neonatal tetanus.
Ladies and gentlemen, elimination is not the finish line. It is a responsibility to protect what we have achieved. Maternal and neonatal tetanus elimination is more than a disease-specific success. It reflects strong immunization systems, quality antenatal care. So I'm glad that our midwives are here because you contribute tremendously to that, and effective disease surveillance.
Dr. Baichiaita described this achievement as a reflection of strong government leadership, the dedication of health workers, and the trust communities place in vaccination and maternal health services. He cautioned that progress could easily be reversed if immunization coverage declines, surveillance systems weakened, or gaps developed in maternal and newborn health care.
However, experience from other countries reminds us that progress can be reversed. It's fragile. Diseases do not recognize past successes. If immunization coverage declines, if surveillance systems weaken, or if gaps emerge in maternal and newborn care, preventable diseases can return. Even a single case of neonatal tetanus signals a gap we must urgently address.
Dr. Fatoumata Diba, the Deputy Director of Health Services at the Ministry of Health, delivered the keynote address.
So we have a big task, and we will, but I believe that with the team we have, we can do it. So again, we want to thank you for all the work that you are doing. We appreciate and we'll encourage you to keep it up.
Sidat Fofana, the program manager of the expanded program on immunization, reflected on the country's progress over the years and praised health workers and partners for their role in achieving this milestone. The findings from the assessment are expected to provide a roadmap for corrective actions to sustain maternal and neonatal tetanus elimination in the Gambia, enhance surveillance systems, improve service delivery, and ensure equitable access to life-saving interventions, especially in hard-to-reach communities. Health officials affirm that protecting mothers and newborns from preventable diseases is vital to achieving universal health coverage and the Sustainable Development Goals. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
Coming up next is international news. Now, today, the 29th of June, is the International Day of the Tropics, a day set aside to recognize the world's tropical regions and their vital role in sustaining life on Earth. As environmental pressures continue to grow, the United Nations is urging stronger action to protect biodiversity and promote sustainable development. Jules Denjai has the details.
International Day of the Tropics is a day dedicated to raising awareness about the importance of tropical regions and the challenges they face. Stretching between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, the tropics cover about 40% of the Earth's surface. They are home to nearly half of the world's forests, more than half of its renewable freshwater resources, and around 80% of global biodiversity. These ecosystems not only support countless plant and animal species, but also provide food, water, and livelihoods for billions of people, while playing a critical role in regulating the global climate. However, the United Nations warns that this natural wealth is under growing threat. Climate change, deforestation, illegal logging, rapid urbanization, and population growth continue to put immense pressure on forests, wildlife, and water resources across the tropics. The challenges extend beyond the environment. Millions of people living in tropical regions continue to face poverty, hunger, inadequate housing, and food insecurity, despite development progress in many countries. According to the United Nations, by 2050, the tropics are expected to be home to most of the world's population and nearly 2/3 of the world's children, making investment in sustainable development more urgent than ever. International Day of the Tropics was established by the United Nations in 2016 following the launch of the First State of Tropics report, which highlighted the region's environmental, social, and economic significance. As the world marks this year's observance, the United Nations is calling on governments, communities, and development partners to strengthen efforts to protect tropical forests, conserve biodiversity, and promote sustainable development to secure the future of billions of people. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jules Denjai.
That report by Jules Denjai brings us to the end of this bulletin, but before we go, here's a recap of the headlines. On Saturday, President Barrow cut the ribbon to inaugurate the first phase of the National Emergency Treatment Center in Farato in the West Coast region. The Rwandan community in the Gambia on Saturday commemorated Kwibuka 32, marking the 32nd annual day of reflection of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda. The Medical and Dental Council of the Gambia is raising concerns over the growing number of unlicensed individuals providing dental services, warning that the practice poses serious risks to public health. The Ministry of Justice and partners today commenced a 2-day capacity building and awareness program on occupational health and safety. In international news, today, the 29th of June, is the International Day of the Tropics, a day set aside to recognize the world's tropical regions and their vital role in sustaining life on Earth. That's all we have for this news bulletin. Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for another bulletin. Thank you for watching.